Yo, yo, yo.
Black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. We know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane. Got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games. Man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
What up? Hit that like button.
Let's talk about why I resented you for loving me too much. Family, I'm Eleanor, and this is Dismissible Me, where I speak on dismissive avoidant attachment from the inside out. And when I speak about loving me too much as a dismissive avoidant person, you thought loving me harder, showing up more, doing more would bring me closer to you or get me to respond to you in a certain way, and it didn't. I resented it, as a matter of fact. And here's why that kind of love, heavy air quotes, felt like a trap instead of a connection. For me, you loving me too much, you trying to love me more, do more, just felt like pressure from you to perform. And that to perform is to show up in the way you're showing up and reciprocate and return all of the energy that you're giving to me with the exact same intensity. And just because you're showing up this way doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to show up in this way, that I'm going to be able to meet you where you're at. I don't, and nothing makes me more uncomfortable than somebody doing these things, and I understand it, and on my end, it just seems very performative, because if I'm not asking for you to show up and do these things, if I'm not asking for you to do more, to give me more, to say more, do all these things, come on extra strong, it only comes off to me as manipulation. It never shows up as, oh, here's this person just trying to make me feel comfortable. It's always, what is their motive? It's always, what are they trying to gain from me? It's always, it's never, it just never seems genuine. And I know it's not genuine because I know what it is that I'm giving. So when you're overdoing it, it only shows up as, number one, it shows up as...
I can only take so much. I'm trying to... I always get triggered when I hear those clips. Gosh. Yeah, but there are people out there that believe the exact same way. I'm hearing the clips when you hear the clips. My gosh. Can you imagine being with someone and their real motive for being with you, their real motive for wanting to leave you is never articulated. It's never explained. Have you ever been with somebody and it was just over, y'all together, and then next thing you know, it's over? And hey, listen, I've seen the clip. I don't listen to the clips. I want to listen to them when the audience listens to them, right? But I've seen the clip. The young lady that's speaking is wearing a ski mask. Am I correct, Andy? Does she have on a ski mask?
It's an image of a ski mask.
Oh, wait, it ain't even her in this video? It's the image of a ski mask? Come on. So for the past 2 weeks, we've been doing a series on the unseen spiritual laws, right? That no relationship can ignore. And as I've explained before, 2 weeks is basically 8 episodes. This is episode 8, right? We could go 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. There are so many spiritual laws that you can recontextualize into relationship concepts. But I felt I needed to give more context for what I mean when I say relationships are inherently spiritual. Yes, relationships are social. They have cultural game rules. Yes. Societal game rules. Sure. I'm not here to marginalize or minimize any of those rules. But I think the rules that don't get enough attention are the spiritual rules, right? Think about the humanities. In the American educational system, they've been moving away from the humanities for STEM. And STEM is great, right? But STEM is about mathematics and science, and it's ultimately about productivity, right? The humanities, with its various multidisciplinary approach, teaches what it means to be human. It gives voice to the human condition, right? So think about all the children that are raised in a society that lacks its intellectual dissenting voice, right? Think of the humanities as the shadow, right? I'm talking about Carl Jung's shadow, the repository of deep human experiences taken away from government. It's just productivity. The humanities teach us empathy, right? So imagine growing up in a world that's just profit-based, right? You could see more people thinking linearly about love, thinking in a linear way about love. The humanities teach us about love. They teach us art. They teach us philosophy. Psychology is even a part, right, of the humanities, sociology, all of that, right? So we're living in a world where you got guys like Bill Gates that are funding public educational institutions, but that money is going towards STEM. Why is it that human beings are black and white in everything they do? Why can't it be STEM and the humanities? Don't you know taking away the humanities created hip hop? Whoa, wait a minute, Zoe. Hold on, sir. Yeah. Why do you think all those kids in hip hop shifted away from instrumentation? Remember when we were kids, we got to play the violin, we got to play the recorder, we got to play the clarinet. They started taking these things out of school.
It wasn't cool.
You see what I'm saying? Music is part of the humanities. The humanities teach us about the imperfect, flawed nature of the human condition. Now, you got intellects creating a government, talking about the inalienable rights of men, but they're only talking about white men who owned land. They literally had slaves that they thought were furniture or a plow. Talk about cognitive dissonance. You got the highest of the high thought process about human liberty and freedom, while at the same time, you own people. And it's going to get worse, because that's where we're going when we lose the human aspect of relating, right? And it leads to tonight's topic, which is heavy. This is the final episode of this spiritual series, right? And what's so deep about tonight's episode, we talk about Carl Jung and the mask. The mask is performative, because that ain't you. We talk about the repressed shadow, where the inner child is, where all of the deep-seated issues are, right? We talk about all of these things. And many people, just like in the humanities, right? Nussbaum is her book, Martha C. Nussbaum. And I think the book is called Not for Profit. And she's breaking down how education is pushing toward this linear, mechanical, robotic, automaton-like human being to just be at the highest level of productivity. Well, our relationships are more transactional than they are, right? Connection-based, more transactional than they are intimacy-based. And when I say intimacy, I'm not just talking about sex. I'm talking about vulnerability, right? Now, that's on the societal level. Now, take that down to the home. You got your own levels of generational curses and dysfunction that are flowing through there. So look at the attachment styles that are coming out of there. Love isn't enough. Listen, it's born from something. Love isn't enough. Maybe you needed the humanities, right, in order to understand the cultural, the ancient, the mythological, all of the stories that were ever told about love, so you can have a better understanding. So when I hear the young lady talking, I'm a little triggered, because I'm saying the humanity in that person is lost. It's like talking to Commander Data from Star Trek. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what we're becoming because we never understood the spiritual aspect of relationship. We can even call this show a study in relational humanities, right? Nobody knows how to be with a work in progress. And the moment we are unfulfilled, we are dissatisfied, somebody betrays us, the secrets within us begin to build. Oof. The law of hidden eyes. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. All thoughts and deeds are but mere echoes in the spiritual realm. Uh-oh. The great Krishnamurti said, the observer is the observed. You think because you got away with the lie. You think because you didn't truly express your true feelings that it goes unnoticed or unrecorded. Relationality as spiritual surveillance and the collapse of the egoic witness. No moment escapes the ineffable witness. No thought disappears. Even when others fail to watch, conscious records across multi-dimensions beyond personality, outside of time, is still being recorded. Not by a punishing deity, not by a judging partner, but by the field. Self-aware, recursive, holographically entangled. The law of hidden eyes confronts the most sacred of human illusions, privacy, individuation, and the myth of separateness. On tonight's topic, we're going to inquire, right? And we're going to reject spiritualism that demands comfort and coddling. Instead, we're going to expose how most relational dynamics originate from unresolved trauma, unconscious repetition compulsions, and the ego's frantic need to confirm its own disguise. Where conventional love stories promise connection, tonight's topic uncovers energetic recursion. Where therapists speak of attachment, this work identifies addiction, ritualized attempts to control egoic annihilation through human proxies. You think you got away with it, but spirit recorded it not only in the field, but in your spirit. When we come forward, the voice of reason will continue this barbecue. Are y'all ready for this work? I need y'all to talk to me. I need all of you to talk. We got to stop this nonchalant, laid back, whatever type of vibe. We got to stop that bullshit. We've been on it for a few months now. We got to participate, even if it's in the chat. We got to hit the like button, the share button. If this content matters, we got to do more than just sit back. You're letting technology control you. This is your escape. This replaced TV. So you watch podcasts and live YouTubes like you watching TV. And the only real interaction you do is, where is the human connection? Does that make sense? Am I off? Deacon Brown, top 5 topic. Blue, Diamond Blue, we here. We're turning into robot. I'm saying. This is something me and Mo D, we talk about this shit damn near every day. And Mo D, I can't speak for him, but I can speak based on my experience of him. Mo D is way more intolerant of technology than I am. right? He's like, these are not human beings any longer.
Or enroll today at catchhighschool.com. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and child.
Y'all gonna see what happens with the big beautiful bill?
You with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. You want some more. It's the voice of reason with Sir Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
When you have a gap between the observer and the observed, then there is a time interval, and during that time interval, other factors enter. Conflict arises, and so on. Therefore, it is imperative to remove this gap. Otherwise, you cannot observe actually the present. You get it? You see the logic of it at least. So, is that possible? That is, the observer, who is the past being knowledge, his experience, his hurts, his demands, his ideologies, his memories, and the actual fact, which is the present consciousness, in which may be included the past and the future. So is it possible to observe without the interval, the gap? You understand my question? That is, I want,
Man, Krishnamurti, man, don't bring Murti up in there. Uncle Hurti, Baba Hurti, Krishna Hurti, he gonna tell you the truth. Y'all know what it is. Krishnamurti don't play no reindeer games. Rudolph is not allowed. Krishnamurti, man. I love it though. And I started this whole movement 3 years ago by quoting him first. It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society, suggests that conforming to a flawed or dysfunctional society does not equate to genuine well-being. We live in a society now that says love is a verb. Love is transactional. Right? We live in a society that does not appreciate the humanities, which teaches the human condition, the flawed human condition through multidisciplinary studies, right? History, philosophy, sociology, early childhood development. They're teaching about what it means, art, what it means to be a human being. Hip hop born out of a lack of the humanities. We're not playing instruments, we're sampling records now. That's our artistry. And it's wonderful because our spirit was still creative. But what I'm saying is, as time has moved on, it's 2025. And now, everything is for profit. Even when you're using spiritual parlance, don't disturb my peace. Bringing something to the table. You need to show up right. You wait a minute. Everything is transactional. And when it doesn't line up in the way that you think it should, I ain't got time for this. Ghosting is omission because you don't have the courage to tell the truth about how you feel. Because you don't live in a society that cultivates feeling. Men have lived this life for quite some time. You're not a man if you feel. You're not a man if you sit down and process what you've been through. Huh? So now we're in a space of conformity. Call any of our psychologist friends, Dr. Shalonda Sunshine Crawford, right? Dr. Jashana Johnson. Call any of the KBLA Talk 1580 psychologists, and they will tell you humans in mass tend to follow. Conformity is part of the movement. So this big, beautiful bill is stripping out support. Why? Because it lacks empathy. We're being cultured to live without love, to live without empathy. I'm going to tell you right now, government is a big, dangerous, monstrous machine without the humanities, without empathy, without kindness, without understanding, without this multidisciplinary study base that causes you to be a conscious dissenter through intellectual discourse. Do you see? So now, we don't get what we want, so we hide who we are. But can we hide from every eye? When I come forward, we gonna find out. What up? What up? Hey, Xylon. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Callers, I'm coming to y'all. But do you guys see how I'm molding this topic? Do you guys follow where I'm going? Xylon, we appreciate it. Can everybody say thanks to Xylon? And do you know that there is a feature where you can like individuals' super chats? He's got 7 likes so far. It's 48 people in here. That means 41 people didn't bother to just give a brother a like. Just like it, especially if you're in a position where you can't support the channel. And this isn't to call you out. This is simply to just say any little kind of support is still support, even if it's just liking Xylon Pharaoh's donation. And I would ask if you could donate. You don't have to donate as much as he did, but if you could donate, would you donate? Does this content merit your support? X444. 50 people, 36 likes. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe if this is your first time. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Williams, the VOR, and I know you're tired of pretty gyms with pretty lies, where people seem to scroll more than they sweat. Well, it's time to level up. Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion, and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
Yeah! That Huff and Puff. Hey, that Huff and Puff commercial crazy. That Huff and Puff commercial crazy. Hey, you know what's crazy? He picked. Nah, man, that's where I'm training. I've been training for the last few months. He picked. That's a crazy ad, right? I asked him, what music do you want? Hey, listen, the trainer is crazy. I said, hey, man, what music do you want? He said, Mr. Bojangles, Sammy Davis Jr. I thought to myself, like, huh? Yeah, Mr. Bojangles, Sammy Davis Jr. I said, what? Mr. Bojangles? He was like, yeah. He was like, that song means something to me, man. I said, all right, fuck it. So the imaging department reaches out and says, hey, we got the audio. We got the script. What music do you want? I said, hey, Mr. Bojangles, Sammy Davis Jr. Then I get the phone call. Hey, what did you say? I said, Mr. Bojangles, Sammy Davis Jr. He was like, what? Yeah. He was like, all right. So when I heard it, I was like, this actually works. Because I thought he was going to use the part where Sammy is singing, Mr. Bojangles. No, we can't do that. I was thinking hip hop. But yo, it worked out pretty dope. And I let a few of my friends hear it. They was like, yo, this sounds like a motivational speech to get out there and work out. So I was like, all right, that's what I was aiming for. Mr. Bojangles. So I haven't been saying anything, but shit, I done lost. Well, I've slimmed down, but I've gained a lot of weight. So I'm literally at 210 going on 215. Like 212 is where I'm at. But it's been a few months. That shit is crazy. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
One of the biggest pains that we experience as a human being is not feeling seen, heard, and understood by others. So many times, we feel misunderstood, judged, and we don't get the opportunity to express how we're really feeling. Inspired from a client session, how can you create an experience where you feel seen and heard and understood by you? My client wasn't sure.
I don't want to stop her, but I gotta, because she's inspiring me. We are living in a giant masquerade ball. Most of us are wearing a mask and demanding people be transparent. Cognitive dissonance. Most of us are living lies. And I don't mean living a lie, I mean a living embodiment of falsehood. We are living secrets. Even when we get close to people, a big secret. People don't even really know how we truly feel. Either it's because I'm walking on eggshells, I can't really talk to you, I don't feel seen or heard, I don't feel like I can share. It's all a lie. Carl Jung said people are wearing masks. The mask is the persona. Love has become performative. It's all an act. When you relate to another, you often perform a projection. You animate a mirage built from unmet developmental needs, proverbial wounding, and psychic distortions inherited from ancestral and cultural scripts. You rarely see your partner. You see your abandoned self wearing their face. Intimacy in this light appears less like love and more like a survival strategy. Krishnamurti's radical insight, the observer is the observed, does not describe a poetic metaphor, but a neurological and spiritual collapse of subject-object duality. Every accusation you launch, every judgment you conceal, every compliment you offer carries a fingerprint from your own unresolved spirit. Projection does not occur occasionally. It defines the default relational mode. The partner does not reflect a separate soul. They reflect you as a whole, the whole you, the mask and the shadow that you try to hide. Not the you post online, but the repressed, exiled, inconvenient self-state you pretend to transcend. According to this law, conscious registers of intention, whether spoken or not, will be revealed. What hides within the self leaks into the field. Your need to feel seen often reveals an unwillingness to look inward. You want to be seen, but you're still hiding stuff. The part of you that matters the most. People don't even like meaning anymore. They want experience. They want excitement, stimulation. They're choosing stimulation over meaning all the time because meaning don't always feel good. If you got a code switch in your relationship, you should be single. You should go celibate. Your guilt may not signal wrongness. It may reflect a resonance mismatch between your conduct and your higher signal. Your betrayals remain unknown, even when no human remembers. You perform them into a field that records frequency, not story. In trauma theory, as illuminated by Babette Rothschild and Patrick Carnes, the body stores memory without permission. Nervous systems function as archival instruments, sort of shadow librarians, transmitting encrypted information through gesture, posture, and reaction. Every attraction may signal a trauma loop in search of re-entry. Every rejection may replay a moment when the psyche split to survive. Relationships under this framework function as initiation sites where the unintegrated memory reenacts itself under the false banner of romance or chemistry. The hidden law, the law of hidden eyes, tears through spiritual bypass and therapeutic platitudes. It reveals how false desire often conceals deep self-abandonment. I want you often means I cannot tolerate my own presence. I forgive you often masks I have numbed myself enough to pretend. Love, when stripped of fantasy and script, no longer appears noble. It appears terrifying. It asks for total transparency. It demands the death of the manipulative self who relates in order to survive, seduce, or extract. When I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no nonsense wisdom.
Hey, y'all bugging.
Advice that actually works.
As much
Answering the questions you're afraid to ask.
as much heat
Answers you need to hear.
is coming through,
Inside the voice of
ain't nobody
reason with
talking.
Williams on KBLA
Nobody's
Talk
interacting.
1580.
Nobody's like, yo, what are we did you hear what he said? What in the world? Nobody talking.
Hey, it's so Williams.
What we on?
It's a reason. Are you tired of stains stealing your shine? California Cleaners is where you go to rescue your wardrobe. They don't just clean, they elevate. Hand washing, crisp laundry, and precise alterations, all while keeping your wallet.
Why aren't we talking?
Listen, all you gotta do is connect with them in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Whether it's grass-stained jeans, silk that's seen better
It is.
days, or a hemline emergency before date night.
I got you. We going to the phone lines.
California Cleaners, located at 1326 North La Brea Avenue, Inglewood, California.
Hey, but normally y'all be talking.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. I do not consider myself a fan of Sean Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Love, Brother Love Combs. But one doesn't have to be a fan to acknowledge a simple truth about his recent jury trial. I think the primary reason he was acquitted of those sex trafficking and RICO charges is because he was overcharged in the first place. Mine is not to opine on his guilt or innocence on any of the charges the feds brought against him. But I predicted months ago that he would beat the most serious charges because, as usual, prosecutors have a really bad habit of overcharging black men. Dave Chappelle
We got
said it
Vibe
best.
31 on the
Puffy
list?
is in a RICO case.
Is
all
Vibe
by
31
himself,
on the list?
Hilarious and arresting at the same time. When prosecutors put a target on the backs of black men, they throw everything at them just to see what sticks. And too often, just like in the Puffy case at the very end, they move to dismiss some of the charges and then double down on the ones they think they can win. It's racist and it's wrong, and somebody ought to say so. I think I just did. Not for the benefit of Puffy, but on behalf of all the other black men who have been and sadly will be woefully overcharged in the future. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
All right. That was an interesting take.
It's the voice of reason with Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
So when we are codependent, that basically means that we have a lack of selfhood, that we are walking through life without really knowing who we are. But to me, the real tragedy is that we don't know it. When I was a young girl, when I was dating, when I got engaged to my ex-husband, when I married him, when I walked down the aisle and I knew I was making the biggest mistake of my life, I just didn't have the data or the life skills to face my feelings. I think our intuition is always telling us when something is wrong, and I think because of childhood trauma and because of childhood emotional neglect, we have learned to distrust those inner instincts, and that is a tragedy. But the good news is that we can learn how to take this spiritual and emotional and cognitive U-turn and come back home to the self, and we can learn to honor our intuition and get back in touch with our authentic feelings so that we can operate from the most authentic aspects of ourselves. When we're codependent, we don't know that we're codependent most of the time. We don't know that we have a loss of selfhood. We are so wrapped up and we are so hypervigilant. Much of the time we have CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which basically means that as a child, you could not escape your trauma. When you have a traumatic experience, as it is with post-traumatic stress disorder, it's usually related to one event. So one tragic event that you could not process emotionally.
Lisa, hey, y'all better tap in if you don't know. Lisa Romano. She was cooking with the rarest grease right there, and she's talking about, like, just being kind of a little disconnected from who you really are, your authentic self, wearing a mask. You keep the real you a secret, and you think it can't be seen. But there is psycho-spiritual leakage into the field. Have you ever walked into a store and there was just somebody there that had a presence and an energy that make you say, let me get on away from this person? Oh, the leakage into the field. It's a real talk. We got callers from all over the country. Let's get them in here right now. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready. The nation wants to speak. Starting with Sean from Oakland, California. Sean, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, I'm going to keep it as best I can on the topic is that people need to understand that you need to check in with other people as a community. You need to make sure that they're checking back with you and make sure that, you are moving the ball forward in a community way. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise, when it comes to, all these trivial things, my family did this, my family did this, we have to understand that we all go through serious trauma, mm-hmm. all of us, mm-hmm. We're human beings, right?
Right.
And we all go through it. We're all going to go through trauma. We're going to all go through crisis, mm-hmm. But it'll be different. Like your kid might have cancer. That's probably the worst. Your kid may have autism. That's probably the next in line. Mm-hmm. And then you may have other things regarding your lot in life. Mm-hmm. But the whole thing is that as you're going through all this stuff, make sure to check in with people you love and make sure that you try to give them reinforcement and make sure to say, hey, I'm here for you the best I can be, mm-hmm. Whether it be family or friends, because that's what I do. And I think it's a good strategy because I think most people think everything's nicer on the other side of the fence. It's not. Everyone, whether you have money or not, it's not that good. Everyone has to deal with what goes on in this world, and you need to check in with them and make sure that they know that you are part of their support group.
Sean, I appreciate the insight, man. Thank you so much. You already know what you just did, right?
Love you, brother.
Yes,
Oakland house.
yeah, we love you too, Sean. Oakland is the first on the board. Oakland, California, town business. You know what it is. If you want to bring your city into the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Let's slide down to Houston, Texas. Attila is on the line. Attila Phillips, my niece. What up, Attila?
Hola.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, man? We acting up on this series now. What are your thoughts?
So something that I started thinking about with the first clip, the lady dismissed me, excuse me, mass lady.
Mm-hmm.
The way she speaks, it reminds me of like how we kind of treat relationships like a business, like a transaction.
Yeah.
But you know, like one of the synonyms for business is an entity, right?
Ooh, don't do that. I remember The Entity was a scary movie back in the day where it was a ghost raping a woman. This is crazy. This was a movie now. Is that what you're talking about?
The parallels.
Oh my God.
Think about like the parallels there, like with entities. Like what do? They extract from their host, right?
Ooh, Lord.
Like, and businesses do the same. They employ the same strategies, right? Like they create the issue and then become the solution, basically, right? And I think we do one another like that. Like we see, how do I say this? I think everyone has a certain level of spiritual sight, some more than others. So for those that are predators or entities, right, they can see what issues you have and they magically become your solution.
That's
so just
ugly.
Like the
that's ugly.
So just like a business can become the solution to your problem, I believe that your shadow can unearth your insecurity and that becomes your solution. It's like, you have this issue with the way that you look. Let's put on this mask to solve it.
Wow. So wait a minute, because you're blowing my mind now. My mind is moving now. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Don't you know that a corporation is a legal, fictitious person? According to the 14th Amendment, right? A corporation is now a legal person, a legal fictitious person. Now, do you know what's ill about that? People get corporations to do business. Now people are doing business like corporations when it comes to intimacy.
Yes, Lord.
Do you? Oh, this is terrible.
It's really sad, and I feel like at the crux of a lot of this is that we buy into our own insecurities. We let other people tell us what to be secure about. We let other people tell us what to be insecure about, which is why you find yourself scrolling on social media. This is why beauty is such a big industry. There's so many industries that are huge just based off of the fact that they're convincing you that you lack something. And in truth, what you're really lacking is that internal safety within. So you're seeking it externally. This is why you got to go and get, your eyebrows done, your nails done, your hair done. Who really cares? I mean, at the end of the day, if nobody would see it, would you still do it?
No. It needs to be acknowledged. Another source of vindication, more supply, right?
Right. And there's the catch-22 because that also makes you vulnerable to exploitation.
Wow.
If I can convince you to buy into your own insecurity, then I can convince you to buy into my control as well.
You buying into control? Is that what? Talk to me, niece.
I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, you're either going to be someone who is willfully ignorant, right, or spiritually blind. There's really no other way around that. So I think, or you're going to be somebody who can see, whatever the case may be. But I feel like we all have a choice. And at the end of the day, as long as you love your insecurities more than you love your freedom, I think that's just kind of how it's going to be. So, even when you think about relationships and you see people at the start of their relationship versus 5 years later, right, what do you think, what's the line of demarcation between a relationship that has grown in a healthy way versus one that has not, other than whether or not they're still together?
So listen to what you listen. Your relationship can't grow if your wound has a leadership position, not only in your life, but in the life of the relationship. The wound has to be demoted, but not demoted in a negative sense. Demoted in the sense of you are no longer at the forefront of my life, driving my life, steering my life, guiding my life. I'm going to take that wound and I'm going to bring it into my spiritual bosom by loving on it, by accepting it, by acknowledging it, by appreciating that. I appreciate the wound. It wasn't, you didn't ask to be here. I'm loving on it empathetically, compassionately, right? Then that wound starts to lose its power and its authority.
Yes.
Do you see?
100%. 100%.
Do you see? Coping, but wait a minute, hold on. You got me going now. Coping mechanisms are the legislation that the wound writes. They become the laws of your life. Do you see? This is too much. We got to stop the wayward wound by letting it mold who we think we are. Stay right there. Don't go no further. Listen, hey, we on fire tonight. This is the last episode in our spiritual relationships. The nature of relationships are inherently spiritual. You've been hearing me talk about it. This is episode 8. It's been on complete fire. When I come forward, I'm going back to the phone lines. Thank you, Pretty Brown Mimi. I hope you enjoyed the topic. I hope you enjoyed the show. Or I hope you're enjoying it. Lotus Flower. Taking your power back. This is interesting. If no one ever smelled you, would a person bathe? Some things are just about the person and what they like for themselves. I hear you. Thank you, Melanie. Melanie, we appreciate you, sister. She is our one and only Cash App in the first hour of the show, but we appreciate it. Even if it's only one person, we're thankful, we're grateful. Hey, Mac Shug 510. Nothing but appreciation, brother. I'm showing you that right now. Much love, town business. Are we letting the wound have authority? And we will fall back to the dominion position. Oh, Nikki, thank you for those prayers. And Nikki, no, I haven't fallen back into no traps, or I ain't fallen into no okie doke. Not at all. But when you know somebody got God on speed dial, and you know what I'm saying, and you ain't at your highest level yourself, I appreciate it when people pray for me. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for praying. Hey, we cooking tonight. Hey, this topic is off the chain. Dr. Naka, great show. Off the chain.
If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person.
Wow.
Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff? The child wasn't here, and you still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with the bad touch routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my lips.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
So Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Jesus Christ on a pogo stick. We're all out here pointing fingers at each other as to why dating and relationships suck, while criticizing the other side for behaviors we're literally doing to them, just in different ways. It's like we're all standing in burning houses throwing matches at each other. One person says you never listen to me while interrupting their partner mid-sentence. Another complains, you're always defensive, right after spending 10 minutes explaining why everything is their partner's fault. Dr. John Gottman talks about negative sentiment override, when we're so focused on what the other person is doing wrong that we become blind to our own contributions. We're not just missing our patterns, we're actively doing the exact things we claim are destroying our relationships. We demand emotional availability while stonewalling. We want vulnerability while weaponizing insecurities. We ask for understanding while invalidating our partner's experiences. We expect patience while having emotional meltdowns. We want respect while being condescending. We complain about sex while creating an emotionally unsafe atmosphere. We want to be desired, yet we'll make them feel like all they want is sex. Sometimes I think we're all walking, talking trauma responses, wearing costumes, projecting our childhood wounds onto everyone while calling it incompatibility. We're convinced the other person is the problem when it's likely we're just recreating familiar dysfunction because it's all we know and change feels scarier than staying stuck and blame is easier. The real work isn't proving who's worse. It's getting curious about how we're all participating in the same cycle we claim to hate.
Hey, Dog Man is out of control. Jesus on a pogo stick? Dog Man is out here tripping. But he was correct. We think we're unseen when we're in cosplay. We're all made up. We look the part, right? The behavior is in alignment with the mascara or with the painted on beard, or in Jim Hill's case, the whole painted on package. Listen, we all think, right, we are undetectable. But let me tell you something. Everything is recorded by the field. They say, so what is the field? Einstein's quote on the field was amazing. Let's look it up. I love Einstein's work, especially when he talked about the field. Einstein Field. And there's a wonderful book out called The Field as well. I think it's, I forgot her name, but it's the book is literally called The Field. But what Einstein said about the field, which is quite interesting, he says the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. This quote suggests that the electromagnetic field, in particular, plays a fundamental role in the behavior and properties of particles. It is often interpreted as highlighting the interconnectedness and influence of field in the physical world. So please understand, physics represents the physical world. So from high up in space, right? From even, say, from Jupiter, if you could see individual people on the surface of Earth, we would look like electrons or particles, right? And the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. So oftentimes we put on a mask. Imagine a particle wearing a mask, trying to hide its true self. The field is still aware that it's a particle. Leakage, right? Your shadow work leaks into the field of the relationship, into the field of society, into the field of your family, into the field of your neighborhood. We are in the field of our primary caregivers. When we know they're lying, we just don't know what about. We could just feel it. The field. Very powerful. That's tonight's topic. You know, it's been a whole spiritual breakdown, but tonight's topic, That which is hidden is always recorded. It might not be witnessed by your partner, but anything you do is witnessed by the higher you. And you will have to reconcile that if it is incongruent with the higher you. Our language hides our truth. We don't understand who Alfred Korzybski was. Zoe Williams talks about him all the time. Alfred Korzybski's scrutiny, if we were to use it, right, with our language, right? Language under Korzybski's scrutiny fails us unless we dismantle its illusions. By eliminating the verb to be, we discover how rarefied identity statements hide power dynamics, co-create distortions, and enforce victimhood. Phrases like "you are toxic" collapses fields of co-creation into objectified blame. This relationship is sacred, freezes a dynamic process into a dogmatic declaration. Words do not describe truth, they cast spells. They seduce us into mistaking narrative for presence. When stripped of projections, compulsions, and linguistic lies, the relationship no longer occurs between you and I. It emerges as a field, a vibrating space where karmic echoes seek reconciliation. Your partner may not appear in your life, or people. I know Disney did a job on us, but I want you to understand this. Your partner may not appear in your life to fulfill you. They may arrive to destroy the illusions that keep you fragmented. The episode tonight we're covering is that which is hidden is being exposed. We don't offer healing. I can't offer you what's in you. I can point at it, and you can acknowledge that I'm pointing at the healing within you. This show is designed to rupture the mask your ego convinced you was real. This episode, this series offers rupture. It does not center on safety. It centers on responsibility. For your signal, your recursion, your refusal to witness the parts of yourself now animating the other. You do not receive grace through hiding. This is spiritual bypassing at its worst. You're hiding, talking about God got me. You're hiding, talking about have faith. If you had faith in God, you would come out. You wouldn't hide at all. There would be no need to hide because you have faith that God got you. God only got you when God is given to you. When God taketh away, you say the devil is busy, missing the lesson that God had to take something away from you because you forgot the value of it. Oh, huh? What work you want to do tonight? Do y'all want to do this work or not? You see what I'm saying? You access coherence through exposure. Your performance does not save you. Only truth can liberate you. Relationality, in this lens, reveals itself not as connection, but as crucifixion. A crucifixion of pretense, of projection, and personality. The hidden eye watches not with judgment, but with total awareness. And in its gaze, the ego dies again and again and again and again. You don't want your ego to die because you think that's you. The myth of the silent tomb. Why talking Well, listen to this one. This is going to hurt y'all feelings. The myth of the silent tomb. Why taking it to the grave is the ego's final delusion. How many of you know people have taken secrets to their grave? Didn't want to tell you the truth about nothing. Thought it would never get out. But your spirit was always unsettled in their presence because of that very fact. Why taking it to the grave is the ego's final delusion. The belief that secrets can be buried with the body is a metaphysical illusion, an egoic defense mechanism that denies the quantum entanglement of consciousness, karma, and energetic coherence. Every unspoken betrayal, hidden motive, and unacknowledged distortion lives on, not in memory, but in the vibrational residue of the person who refuses to integrate it. In this view, the grave is not an ending, but an echo chamber of all we failed to metabolize. The nervous system becomes the tomb. The relational field becomes the ghost. And the soul, ever watching, carries the burden we pretend to leave behind. Get even deeper, Zoe. How does the lie you die with get transferred epigenetically? Huh? What? What? Oh, okay, it's not. We're not there yet. Psychology isn't there yet. Neurobiology isn't there yet. Okay, fine. What if the lie you die with, gets passed on to your seed? We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Attila, please come in here and finish your final thought. Ma'am?
Hey, you. Now, you cooking. You are in here cooking.
It's the final episode. We got to cook it up, right?
It is. And you know what's so weird? The thought that keeps coming to my mind is actually quite a personal one. I can now, finally having, started doing this work and looking at my shadow, it reminds me of the first time I remember my people pleasing got me caught up. I was probably about 8 years old, right? Now, mind you, I had to go to the emergency room because I think I had a panic attack or something at 8. And I remember my parents had been going back and forth about private school. Do we take her back? And I knew my mom wanted me to return and my dad didn't. And I told each of them the opposite, what they wanted to hear. I felt that, yes, I felt that I think at the root of a lot of these masks are your initial injuries that you cause to yourself by betraying yourself. And so I think if you could go back and really get in the resources of your mind and remember what it was that caused it and just kind of sit in it, it really does help. And I think now that I'm an adult in my 30s, there is this part of me that wants to return to that same way of thinking that I had when I was a little girl. And it constantly comes up in moments where I have to choose myself. And so I felt like to say, I think we should always choose you. And I mean, it's one of those things where I don't really feel like it ever has gotten easier for me, but I do feel at a place now where I can actually use my voice. And so I'll just say, I think in the same way that you have hidden eyes, you also have hidden costs. And you have to decide that you no longer want to pay them.
Hidden cost and hidden eye. You being watched even when there's no witnesses. Oh, Lord. You remember when they used to say, God is watching now. Just remember, God is...
It's like a spiritual fine print, and we like to sign contracts that are going to get us to our next level, not realizing that there are costs associated with them. And so if I have to give up my people pleasing, so be it. But I'm really thankful to you and just to the whole journey in general. So that's all I'd say.
Come on, niece. Come on. You got to tell the people what you just did. Houston, Texas is in the building and on the board. Listen, if you want to bring your city into this national discussion, all you got to do is call me 1-800-920-1580. The VOR is on complete fire. Ooh. Yo, hey. Now, is it okay if I ask? 2 weeks running. 2 weeks running. Which is the most fire episode in this series? Of the 8 episodes, now we can ask. Of the 8 episodes, which one is the coldest episode in this series? Reciprocity. It was so authority, reciprocity, authority. These are the spiritual laws in relationship. Dr. Naka, you tripping, bro. They all on Apple? There are so many gems in every show. I appreciate that. Thank you. Reciprocity was crazy, though. Oh, wait. Was it karma? The law of karma? Or was it the mirror? I know, it was the law of karma. That one was crazy. Yeah. Jack Brazen says 7. That was yesterday. What was yesterday? What was yesterday's episode? You can decide. Was it the bigger person? No, that's not what it was called. Access. Yeah, the access. The law of access was crazy. The law of access. Hey, Andy, which is your favorite episode?
The beautiful part of sobriety and recovery for me is the looking in the mirror and realizing you are looking at the problem. You are the problem. You're also the solution to the problem, but nothing out there is the problem.
And it's very easy to victimize ourselves and have it be, my mother didn't do this, and so I'm like this. I mean, how many women have I heard in recovery talk about this sexual abuse? It's awful. It's enough to think you would never, ever, 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 ever be able to be a functioning human. Yeah. And they can. Through the program of recovery.
Man, who was that?
Jamie Lee.
That was Jamie. That's who I thought it was. I heard the voice. That's Jamie Lee Curtis telling the truth. Listen, what happened to you is the truth. Many of us are ashamed of what happened. Where there's shame, there might be self-blame. Right? You didn't ask for it to happen. You didn't call it into your being, but it happened. Sometimes healing it is about embracing it. Not embracing it from an egoic standpoint, like this is me, but more so, this happened to me. But this is not me. Right? This is not me. This doesn't get to define me. When that happens, as the great Krishnamurti said, the enemy is you, not the other. It's a core concept in J. Krishnamurti's philosophy, emphasizing that conflict and suffering originate from within oneself, not from external sources of others. Yes, you can argue that someone did something horrific to you, but you can learn to alchemize their debauchery, their brutality, their barbarity. You can learn to alchemize that and use it, right? Not as I survived, but not only did I survive, I thrived. I evolved. You see? I know a lot of people don't want to hear it, man. But sometimes healing a truth is more about revealing the truth. Many of us are just blackout blinds. We roll the blackout blind down on our soul and we act like it ain't even sunlight outside those blinds. We just keep it pushing as if it never happened. No, that's a way to contaminate your soul. Your soul needs you to consciously observe it if you want it to heal. I know it's tough. We've got callers on the line. Some of my favorites, by the way. John, Mountain View, Hawaii. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
First off, the seasoning on this show is perfect.
The seasoning? I love it, brother. I love it. Thank you.
My Lord, this is a great show.
Thank you.
But let's go into the element of the hiding, shall we?
Yes, please.
Your loneliness is just a participation trophy towards the interpersonal relationships you fail or hide from.
Here we go.
Your loneliness is only because I'm not agreeing with you. You can hide from me all you want. You can keep that shroud between you and me. But your interpersonal relationship with me is going to help you get over that hump. Do you see it yet? We want to be lonely. Men hide from relationships currently.
Here we go. Talk
They
to me.
blame the woman.
Talk to
They
me.
blame the woman over everything that's going on about the relationship, and now you're telling yourself you're not going to participate, yet at the same time. How are you going to see you if you are hiding from you in that relationship?
Come on, man. The fireworks are for tomorrow, but where are the fireworks, Andy? I love it, brother. Keep cooking.
Don't hurt yourself any longer. And in the immortal words of an African woman that tickled me pink, ladies, you wear hair on your hair. You wear eyelashes on your eyelashes. You wear nails on your nails. Which you am I supposed to meet?
Oh. Go ahead, finish.
Yes, it's universal, ladies and gentlemen. Don't hide from you. As the Bible says, give and it's given back to you. We're not going to talk about the measure yet because you decide on what that measure is, good or evil. I'm done.
Man, guess what you just did, my friend?
Mountain Views in the house always. Love you, bro.
Hey, man, love you too, man. Thank you. Let the seasoning continue. Hey, when we come forward, the VOR, we going to continue cooking up this 4th of July. Well, kind of. 4th of July show. Back. The name of the artist. Now you're gonna have to find the tracks because the tracks are named like weird shit, like Vibe 31, Vibe 14. But the artist's name, and it's spread across a bunch of different like albums. The artist's name is Marquise Murray. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we have no more callers. Can I get a couple callers? 2.
Welcome to Huff and Puff, where excuses die and champions rise. Smack dab at 1221 North La Brea on the corner of Fairview. This ain't a photo shoot, it's a battleground. Certified achievers in the game. Trainers who grind with you, not post pictures beside you. Whether you're chasing your next personal record or just trying to outrun your past, this is your sanctuary of sweat. No mirrors, no filters, no fluff, just pain, passion,
One more caller.
and purpose. Stop talking, start training, huff hard, puff loud, be legendary. Where folks go to war with their weaknesses. Huff and Puff.
KBLA Talk 1580.
So when y'all see me in here and I'm like this recording and I'm on mute, that's what I be doing. Come on, give me one more caller. Hey, all right. Oh, and our brother, Lloyd Hinton, once again, he gave us our second Cash App. Can everybody shout out our brother, Lloyd Hinton? Thank you, Brother Lloyd. Thank you, Brother Lloyd. Thank you, Brother Lloyd. Thank you, Lloyd. Thanks, Lloyd. I'm staying on point. The question is for you and for you only. Which one of these 8 episodes is your favorite? I'm staying on point. I just want to know, what do you think?
Marry somebody that's going to trigger for you every unhappiness that you ever had in your childhood. So when you find somebody to be in a relationship with, it happens on 2 levels. One level is I find them attractive, they're humorous, they're fun to be with. Underneath it is they're looking for the love. that we haven't got in the first place. So, for example, why do so many women, specifically who were abused in childhood, end up with abusive men? Which they do, repeatedly. You think, what's wrong with them? Well, there's nothing wrong with them. What's wrong is, where's love that they most long in the things? Precisely that abusive person. So unconsciously, they'll be drawn towards men who have that abusive potential. So relationships then it's a matter of growing up together, if that can happen. But I guarantee you, when you marry somebody, you're going to find both your dreams and your worst nightmare.
Wow. That's my guy Gabor, right? Hey, man, he's always cooking with the rarest grease. Love his work. Listen, we got callers on the line, man. I want to bring people into this national discussion. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. One of our favorites, you already know, and I already know. Nikki from the SIP, the VOR's resident deaconess. Come on in here and give us this food for thought. How are you? You good?
Something to consider over the holidays.
Please give it to us, Nikki.
A prolific serial killer was asked why he was so successful. Because my victims do not recognize when they are being visited by the devil.
Who said that, Nikki?
A couple of people. One of them was on TV and one of them was in real life. Wayne Grove from the movie Heat was in the presence of a prostitute and said to her, you are being visited by the devil now. Having been called out because he entered through the sexual gate. That Ted Bundy man said, we don't pay attention to the signs from the Lord that you are in danger. Because we hide. When we hide, it can be a detriment to our ability to see what is before us.
Wow. So
in the Matrix, if you die in the Matrix, you die over here. Okay? All right? When the spirit drops down, there was 3 of them in cinders. Some people missed it. It was a woman because people sometimes do not perceive women as being a threat right away. There was a man playing a guitar. Might have been a banjo, but I think it was a guitar. Because music is a gate.
You got me. I'm sitting right here like, hey, if she don't cook, like, boy, this is a rare meal. Keep going. Music is a gate. Sex is a gate. Come on, spirituality is a gate. Keep going.
When we got to the scriptures, he was like, well, that's coming to my spirit. All the devil being found by the scriptures. We forget he was up there when they was made, by the dude that made him.
You talking about Lucifer, when he was Lucifer and he was the master of music? I hear you, child. Keep going.
Come on. We can't keep up with this hiding.
Wait, hold on, Nikki. Hold on, Nikki. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. Ushers, lock the doors. We got to close the gates. Go ahead, Nikki. Oh, my goodness.
I told you they traveling in pack. There's a pack of 3. It's on Netflix. You can see it there.
Wow.
If you can go to the movie.
Sheesh.
If you do not deal with you, these ancestral secrets.
Ancestral secrets. I hear you. Come on.
Make up your mind over this 4th of July. I'm going to be a generational curse slayer.
Ooh.
Stop today.
I love it. I love it. Nikki, I love you, Nikki. Oh, Nikki, I love you, Nikki. Hey, Nikki, guess what you just did, child?
board and I love everybody.
Come on, Mississippi is on the board. Nikki said, close the gates. Whew. The karma of pretending. How lying to yourself bends reality. Huh? Cognitive dissonance creates emotional numbing and internal splits that damage intimacy, according to Festinger. The philosophical insight. Authenticity is existential necessity. Pretense fractures reality and invites illusions. Your spiritual and metaphysical insight. Every lie vibrates at a frequency that distorts alignment with divine law, according to Dr. David R. Hawking's consciousness map. Here's your clinical. Habitual dishonesty alters neural pathways and reinforces maladaptive emotional suppression, ACT therapy. Most of us, and when I say most of us, including me, we've learned to walk around comfortable in disguise. Right? Somebody breaks us, hurts us. We've learned to fake it, and that's okay for a time. That's okay when you're trying to rehabilitate. Fine. But you're more powerful as yourself. And when I say as yourself, I'm not talking about the self your parents modeled, right? I'm not talking about that. You have to become the master potter of your presentation. You can't still have the fingerprints of your parents' brokenness on you, because you'll go into intimate relationships doing nothing but hiding and performing. You cannot possibly be the truth until you start that process of individuation. That's how Carl Jung called it. That's what he called it, individuation. But a Buddhist might call it moksha. A Hindu might call it nirvana, right? Somebody who follows Paramahansa Yogananda may call it self-realization. Somebody who studied psychology may call it self-actualization. But you gotta get it done, or you're not the real you. And the false you is always in what the Hebrews called Sheol. Sheol is hell, but Sheol also means school. Yes. I know. Love as a field, not transaction. The non-dual collapse of relational myth. What? Codependent dynamics reflect energetic contracts, not free connection, according to Ross Rosenberg. Go get his book. It's a wonderful book, man. The Human Magnet Syndrome. Love cannot be possessed or earned. It must emerge when subject-object duality dissolves. Ramana Maharishi. Spiritual/metaphysical. Love is not an act, but a field of being. Real love dissolves the self who needs it. David Deida. Here's your clinical. Secure attachment is not earned through transaction, but felt through presence and attunement. The government has never been attuned to black folks' needs, really. They've been in and out like an in and out parent. We've been turned into an anxious, preoccupied, and dismissive avoidant group. And many of us have traits of fearful avoidance. Come on, now this government has done a job on us. And we've taken that work from our societal fathers and mothers into our intimate relationships. When we come forward, the voice of reason will land the plane.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Phil Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's So Williams, the voice of reason. Are you tired of staying, stealing your shine? California Cleaners is where you
Was it bananas? Hey, everybody give me a grade on all 8 episodes. Put your letter grade up. Could it be better? I think it could. But in my estimation, all them episodes slap. Ron King, we've been saying Krishnamurti for years. Krishna Murti, M-U-R-T-I, Krishnamurti, all one word. Krishnamurti, not Christian Emeriti. No, for the whole series. What's your grade for the entire series, all 8 episodes? Knowledge Yourself, what up?
I think the primary reason he was acquitted of those sex trafficking and RICO charges is because he was overcharged in the first place. Mine is not to opine on his guilt or innocence on any of the charges the feds brought against him. But I predicted months ago that he would beat the most serious charges because, as usual, prosecutors have a really bad habit of overcharging black
A Z plus is top tier. That's crazy.
RICO case all by itself, man. Hilarious and arresting at the same time. When prosecutors put a target on the backs of black men, they throw everything at them just to see what sticks.
Let's see who starts sounding like this, though.
At the very end, they move to dismiss some of the charges and then double down on the ones they think they can.
And this was like a whole master class. You know how I used to sell the master class where you'd have to pay for it? Right? This was literally a whole master class done on radio.
Sadly will be woefully overcharged in the future. With a KBLA Talk 15.
Can somebody type in the correct spelling of Krishnamurti's name? Because Ron King is asking. Thank you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR's on complete fire. You already know what it is, live from KBLA Talk 1580 in the heart of Leimert Park. You already know we've been on complete fire. This is episode 8 of my series on the spiritual purpose and or meaning of relationship. And you already know I'm blending in the clinical, the psychological, the philosophical. I'm blending in so many different layers and nuances to it. Very rich, very nuanced discussion. We're about to wrap it up. I want to get my final caller in here real quick. We got Davey Lee from Arkansas. Davey Lee, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic and the overall series?
You shut the glass top off, man. But personally, I appreciate all y'all input. It's so impactful and helpful on my day-to-day journey because it just gives you an idea of what to do and what not to do and how to try to approach things. But I can say personally, if you keep faking stuff, man, you keep trying to hide who you are, it's gonna come out in the end. They always say, "What's in the dark comes to the light." Sometimes, it may not be able to, get reconciled to you because you just have to do what you're supposed to do. But in reality, you keep being fake, man, you know what I'm saying, you're going to get fake results. It's not going to be real. You know? You're going to destroy yourself in the end because you might be a dope fiend. Now you acting like you ain't no dope fiend. Somebody catch you in the corner, catch you in the car. You know what I'm saying? Now you looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? So you got to try your best to, you know, be, like you say, authentic, for real, for real. Or you just going to keep destroying yourself. You're going to fall deeper into these pits. You're going to probably keep doing what you think is a secret. You know, somebody know. Somebody know you're a sucker. You hear me? So you don't have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You destroy yourself.
Hey, Davy Lee. Davy Lee. Hey, guess what you just did, Davy Lee, man?
Hey, I brought y'all to the sticks, baby. I brought y'all to my world.
Come on, man. Take us down to the sticks anytime, brother. We appreciate the call. Tonight's topic, man. Hey, we ain't been playing at all, man. Just remember, trauma is a language. Your nervous system can be seen as an oracle. How might your nervous system act as the hidden eye, watching all betrayals of the self? Whenever you betray yourself, could your nervous system be your intrapersonal oracle, watching and recording every betrayal? Could your need for control reflect an ungrieved history of invisibility? When I flinch at closeness, what unmet need in my developmental timeline attempts to speak? Might every attempt to fix another mask a refusal to attune my own dysregulation? Who's watching? Who's watching you? You don't watch you when you step into a relationship. You're only watching the person, hoping that they fulfill your wound's needs. You don't watch yourself to say, how will I show up this time? Did I do enough work on my? You don't do that. Self-observation isn't a part of the game. It's what you can get, right? So you put on a performance. You hide the true wounded you. You present as healed. You know the language of spirituality. You can speak it. You can talk it. You can walk it. But in your spirit, you're limping. And you're hoping you can get past their security. So you can set up shop in their brokenness. In what ways does spiritual bypass mirror somatic disassociation? How do I confuse emotional numbing with spiritual peace? Could the stories I tell about others emerge as flashbacks from a proverbial wound? What narratives might my body remember even when my conscious mind forgets? Might my attraction to chaos be an unconscious effort to re-enter a traumatic loop in search of resolution? In what ways does denying my inner child's voice weaponize my adult persona in relationships? I don't know who that's for, but I'm gonna read it again. In what ways does denying my inner child's voice weaponize my adult persona in intimate relationships? Desire as displacement, uncovering false longings. What if every desire I hold for you arises from a part of myself I abandoned long ago? Might the pursuit of love be a subtle expression of self-rejection dressed in intimacy's disguise? Could my longing for wholeness in another conceal my fear of facing my own inner fragmentation? In what ways might attachment act as a drug that delays the inevitability of ego death? When I declare I want you, could I be confessing I fear being with myself? Could the pain of unrequited love be a refusal to receive my own presence? Could my prayers for union be echoes of forgotten vows I once broke with myself? In seeking you, whom or what have I abandoned inside myself? This is heavy stuff tonight, y'all. When the self is quiet, what remains of a relationship? And who or what is listening? The voice of reason, I really want you guys to hear this stuff, man. This is not for play. Even when no one is watching, you are seen. This axiom, what we might call the law of hidden eyes, pierces the illusion of isolation that governs so much of our intrapsychic and interpersonal life. It points to a deeper terrain of accountability, not to culture, performance, or partner, but to the field of consciousness itself. This is not the moralistic surveillance of a punitive God image, but the radical presence of being itself, a witnessing intelligence beyond egoic architecture, beyond projection and pretense. In this field, all thoughts echo, all intentions reverberate. The self we conceal from others is not hidden from the relational universe. It is the universe speaking back through the mirrored entanglements of our experience. Listen, I start the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-week series. The VOR will be back Monday with another slapper. Might bring another series up in here. I'll holla. Happy 4th of July, folks. Love my folks. Love my people. Love. Crazy. Hey, that was the fastest 2 weeks ever. That 2 weeks flew. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all.